All right, let's just jump right in. We're about to challenge a really fundamental idea about how we see the world. The one that says your brain is just kind of sitting back, watching the movie of reality. Well, today we're going to explore something way, way more interesting. What if that whole picture is missing a massive piece of the puzzle? What if your brain isn't just a passive camera, just recording whatever happens to be in front of it? But what if it's the director and the editor and the special effects artist all rolled into one, actively building the reality you experience every single moment? That's the mind-blowing idea we're getting into right now. Okay, so to really get this, we have to look at this huge shift in thinking. For the longest time, the way we thought about perception was incredibly simple, almost too simple. Think of it like a one-way street. So the old view was that reality just happens to us. Information flows from the world, through our senses, and into our brain. That's it. But we now know it's not a monologue. It's a dynamic, two-way conversation. Our brain is constantly influencing our reality, and in turn, that reality feeds back and influences our brain. It's this continuous biofeedback loop. So let's quickly walk through how this loop actually works. First, it starts with your internal brain activity, your thoughts, your mood, your focus. That state of mind then shapes how you perceive the world around you. Your perception then drives your actions, what you actually do. And of course, your actions change your environment. And finally, that changed environment sends new signals back to your brain, starting the whole cycle over again. It's a non-stop dynamic process. So, if our brain is such an active participant, how is it doing all this? Well, the answer is in its hidden language, the very rhythm of thought itself. And it's managed by these invisible architects of our perception. And that hidden language is made of brainwaves. Now, these are not just random background noise, not at all. Think of them as your brain's operating system. These rhythmic electrical patterns are constantly filtering, prioritizing, and literally assembling your reality. So what you experience isn't just about what's out there, it's about how your brain is tuned in at that exact moment. And while there are a bunch of different brainwaves, we're going to zero in on two of the biggest players in this reality-shaping game: alpha waves and gamma waves. And they have very distinct and totally crucial roles to play. To really understand what they do, let's use a couple of powerful metaphors. One acts as the meticulous gatekeeper, deciding what information gets in, and the other, it's the grand orchestrator, bringing all the pieces together into a beautiful, coherent whole. So on one hand, you have alpha waves. They're the gatekeepers. Their job is to suppress all the distracting noise so you can actually focus. Then you have the gamma waves. They're the orchestrators. They take all the separate bits of information that got past the gate and bind them all together to create one meaningful experience. Let's look a little closer at alpha. For a long time, we kind of thought these waves just meant you were relaxed or zoned out, but their role is incredibly active. A brain with strong alpha waves isn't shut down. It's highly selective. It's like having the world's best noise-canceling headphones, but for your entire mind. And you see this in high-stakes situations all the time, right? That elite athlete who's just in the zone, the surgeon performing a delicate procedure, a musician completely lost in a performance. These are all states of peak performance, and they're all powered by stable alpha waves that allow for a quiet mind and precise action. So if alpha waves are managing the gates, gamma waves are inside conducting the orchestra. They have to solve what scientists call the binding problem. Think about it. How do all these different signals, the color red, a round shape, the texture of leather, the memory of playing catch, how do they all merge into the single unified experience of a red ball? Well, that's the incredible work of gamma waves. Gamma activity is what spikes during those amazing aha moments of insight. When different ideas just suddenly click together. It's tied to intense awareness, high-level thinking, and recalling really complex memories. This is the brainwave that literally assembles meaning from all the separate parts. Okay, so this is the crucial part. If our brainwaves shape our reality, can we learn to shape our brainwaves? And the answer is a definitive yes. This is where we go from fascinating theory to actual practical application. One of the most direct ways to do this is with technology like neurofeedback. It's basically a training gym for your brain. You get real-time feedback, maybe a sound or a visual on a screen, that shows you what your brain is doing. And that feedback loop helps you learn to consciously influence your own brainwave patterns. But you absolutely do not need sophisticated tech to get started. There are some incredibly powerful and accessible practices you can do. Things like mindfulness meditation and focused breathing exercises have been proven to directly strengthen those alpha gatekeeper waves, which improves your ability to filter out distractions. Even simple stuff like taking deliberate breaks or creating a quiet, structured space to work helps promote the kind of brain activity we're talking about. And this is just such an empowering takeaway, isn't it? You are not just a passive passenger. By making small, intentional changes to your daily habits and your environment, you can actually gradually retune the very neural rhythms that build your day-to-day reality. So, as we get better at understanding and even influencing our own minds, it just opens up a whole new frontier. It raises some huge questions, and it points toward a pretty incredible future. And we have to ask these questions. What are the real ethics of modifying our own perception? As these technologies get more and more powerful, who's going to get to use them? It's a really important conversation about balancing personal empowerment with our collective responsibility. Ultimately, though, it all comes back to this one single powerful idea. Your brain is not just watching the show, it's co-writing the script, it's directing the scenes, and it's starring in the lead role. Every thought you have, every moment of focus, is a genuine act of creation. Your brain is already shaping your reality right now, whether you're aware of it or not. So the only question left to ask yourself is this: are you ready to become a conscious participant in that process?